Grand Rise, Willie Whittle, it shall be dope. This is the pod. Let's get into it. Listen, on my heart today is a, a lot, a lot as always. Um, you feel pressure, you feel pain, you feel all the things, right? We feel all the things. But when you think about gratitude, when you think about the space that you're in, and really appreciate what got you here, then I think that's when you can start realizing what the path looked like. So, song that's on my heart recently, um, album that's on my heart recently, Dreams and Nightmares, Meek Mill, um, bar, immediately out the gate. I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I can grind like that, to shine like this. It's real, like it's raw. It's very it's a very raw, purposeful, and actually intimate statement. Not in a weird way, so don't play that Paul stuff because people, when they talk about Meek, they always talk that weirdness. But think about it. You're living the change that you asked for. You're living literally what you asked for. I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this, on the block trying to get opportunities, or starting out with work, trying to figure out how you're gonna move to the next level. Your thought process, your mindset allows you to change your trajectory and where you're gonna be at in the next couple of years. So you have to really embrace the fact that you're where you are now and the power of how your mindset can actually push your trajectory to a different level. It's not every day that you get to sit back and say, like, man, I appreciate what I got going on, but that's a choice. You do get to say, I appreciate what's going on, but it's funny because it gets clouded with either chaos and you feel like you can only show that gratitude and that appreciation when you're in a state of peace. And that's not true. You have to appreciate the peace and the chaos. You know how we do on It Shall Be Dope. Um, but you got to understand that this is what you prayed for, and everything that you prayed for is louder than you imagined. So when you get it, don't be surprised. Be ready, be embracing, be evolved, be ready. You know what I mean? Like be active, be proactive. And sometimes if it does catch you off guard, get prepared. Like you've been doing this. This is what we do. You're supposed to be ready for the next step. And a matter of fact, we don't even know what the next step is, but we're mentally preparing ourselves for it because if you think about it, then you're pushing for it. And then when you see it, you may not even know it hit. You may not even know you might have ripped through it. Like, man, I didn't know that the times that I actually was praying for was a checkpoint to get to something bigger. And then when you get to that something bigger, then you reflect and you say, man, I actually did that too. Like, I'm doing it. So remember, at some point, you aligned with your energy and you prayed for times like this to rhyme like this. You know what I'm saying? You prayed for what you sitting in. You prayed for that moment to be where you need to be where you are. So don't ever forget that. I mean, I think what it is it kind of gets summed up in a quote that I saw. Saw this quote on IG and I like it. I'm gonna read it though. What a privilege it is. What a privilege it is to feel overwhelmed by the pressure you prayed for. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again because I stumbled a little bit. Stick with me. What a privilege it is to feel overwhelmed by the pressure you prayed for. This hit me deep because Zigzag's mind is overthinking always. Like Juice is always overthinking something. I'm firing all kind of cylinders and cylinders I didn't have. I might have a V12 under here when I'm thinking I got a V8 and it just pop, 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 you know what I mean? And then when I start figuring it out, I'm like, man, these are the problems that I asked for to get to the peace that I'm trying to attain through the barriers of what I feel today. But the trajectory is crazy. The trajectory is crazy. I'm not doing zero. Nope. I'm not even doing 10. You got to think about that 0 to 60 mentality. Like, all right, so if I'm going and I'm not trying to go fast, I'm being consistent. I'm speaking on me, obviously, because it shall be dope as a me platform. But think about it for you. What have you done in the last 30 to 60 days? Because it takes 60 days to make a plan per Larry June, the kid Larry June. Um, what have you done in the last 60 days that has pushed your trajectory to a totally different place? What have you done that allowed you to show gratitude and graciousness for the hustle that you put yourself into? That mentality, that bar that said, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna allocate this time, these resources, I'm gonna see us like this by this time frame. You know what I mean? Like it's so many things that helps you shift your mindset. And it's not even about peace protection. It's not about peace protection. It's about allowing your peace to develop. Let it build. Let it be. Let it be. Let it flow. Because peace is energy, right? And when you protect it, and I had to learn this because you know me, I'm a big peace protecting person. However, you got to let it out and you got to let it experience what it is to be peaceful. It has to turn into an action. The energy has to turn into an action for you to understand it. But as you get to building that peace, another important statement is when you're moving in that momentum, are you ready to feel the cost that it takes to get to that space? I had a real dope um, conversation this week, super dope conversation this week. And it's funny because sometimes I might get asked a question that might throw me off a little bit, but this question was just this simple, and it threw me off a little bit because it was how I allocate my energy, and it was like a heat check on how I allocate my energy. And when I was asked, I'm not gonna get into the question because whatever. But when I was asked, I was like, I would have answered this question differently 5 years ago. I would have answered this question differently 2 years ago. Today, I answered that question, and I'm like, hmm, it's interesting how levels change what your perception is of certain things, right? But that's the difference in who you were and who you are now and who you're going to be in the future. And we don't know who we're going to be. Energy is delicate. We live in now, we live in the present. We don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of minutes. We know what happened in the past, but we can't get trapped in the past because we're moving. We're moving. The energy is supposed to move. How else we supposed to get us to a whole different level if we don't move the energy? So, that being said, we prayed for this pressure. We prayed for this dynamic. Gratitudes, gratitude for answered prayers. Show gratitude for answered prayers. Be happy, be grateful, be blessed that you said, listen, I need this and I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go get it. And then when you start getting up to go get it and you feel it, make sure you understand that I'm like, hey, I actually put me in this position. I put me here. So I'm in motion. And my motion is powerful. I don't think a lot of people feel that power inside of them. They feel down, they feel depressed, they feel sad. And that's not a bad vibe to have because it might just mean that you need to sit back and reallocate your energy. You know what I'm saying? Reallocating your energy. I do a lot of, I deal with a lot of souls, deal with a lot of souls. And the fact is, all of these souls got energy. They weigh heavy on the kid's shoulders, right? I can shoulder it. I'm strong, but I don't think that's the excuse. I feel like I'm strong because I actually prayed to make sure that my people are in a better place. So I get the opportunity to put my people in a better place, and that's heavy. So we got to lift the weights for the stuff that we ask for, right? It's not like, oh no, it's cool, I got this. I say that because I've already done the work to say I got this and I know what it feels like. And it's still heavy. Mind you, it's still heavy. And it's okay because I appreciate it. This is what I asked for. This is my shine like this. And it ain't over. So remember when you dig back in to that crate, because a lot of people when they say they lock in, but in their mind they imagine a time where they've locked in before. And they feel like that lock in is gonna be the same. You know, if you say like, all right, I got some reports I need to knock out. I'm about to lock in. Because I remember one day I locked in and I did like 3 reports back to back to back and they were solid. Or, man, I'm about to lock in. And in video game terms, right? Hey, I call it the plat grind in Rocket League because I'm a cool Rocket League player, but when I get on my platinum grind, I'm like, no, I'm gonna stay in platinum for. I know I ain't the best if you know what Rocket League is. I mean, platinum's cool, but like I'm on my plat grind, which means I'm here and I'm locked in. Like I'm not even playing for fun. I'm playing serious. Um, those things. It's like I remember when I was on my plat grind. I'm like 15 games straight, like not playing around, like winning every game, MVPs and all that. Like, and then I'm like, I got to get back to that. Well, that's cool. You know what it feels like for you to be locked in. Fantastic. Your new lock in takes that and then it quantifies it by however much you've learned over time. I know equations, right? But it definitely quantifies it. So if I like me, my plat lock in, my plat grind, hey, I remember when I won 15 straight. Cool. When I win those 15 straight, then what? The next time I plat grind, I'm trying to go 20. All right, cool. Like, let's get into it. Let's get into it. It's gonna be one of those days. And now I know what my energy allocation looked like when I say let's lock in. So we have to give ourselves the opportunity to show gratitude. We got to allocate our energy the proper way. And when I say the proper way, only you know how to allocate your energy. Don't let nobody else allocate your energy for you because they can't do that. Energy is very finicky thing, and it's ours. It's ours to have. It's ours to use however we want to. So when you feel somebody else coming with some kind of energy, you get that opportunity to say, "Nah, I'm cool." But remember, and always look back on the fact that you prayed for times like this to rhyme like this. Meek was talking to him back in the day. That Dreams and Nightmares was something else. Oh, like Meek is always dope, but oh, Meek to me, man, yeah, yeah, that's that dude. So, um, remember, like I said, when you talk to yourself, when you pray for these things, your voice is louder than you imagine. So make sure you do that. We I used to pray for times like this to rhyme like this so I could grind like that to shine like this. And as long as you continue to do that with love, it shall be dope. Peace, everybody.